So, that was really weird. Anyway, this is another test, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to learn how to edit videos doing YouTube, but I'm sure going to try, and I'll ask questions as they come up and try to deliver information as clearly and concisely as I possibly can, with some humor and some smiling and interaction. So I've been talking to my clients a lot lately about the sympathetic nervous system. I've been reading a book called Forward-Facing Trauma Therapy by J. Eric Gentry, and he does a really good job writing this book to introduce forward-facing trauma therapy, something that he's developed based on the Polyvagal theory and research done on the Polyvagal theory. What I tell my clients is that we have an autonomic nervous system that governs a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for engaging fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and the parasympathetic nervous system governs relaxation. And that when you read about it, it'll say the parasympathetic nervous system governs feed and breed. You know, when you're relaxed, you can digest your food, and then, you know, relaxation is involved in being close to someone, intimacy, and feeling loved, and etc. So when we're engaged in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, we're in survival mode. So we are in a state of hypervigilance. And in his book, Forward-Facing Trauma Therapy, he teaches that we have to get out, we have to recognize we're in survival mode, and then we can deliberately do things to relax ourselves and get back into relaxation and have the parasympathetic nervous system take over. The way to do this is relaxation. Basically, any sort of stress on the body is a perceived threat. And it is perceived because it hasn't yet happened. Okay? We are perceiving that there's going to be a reason to run, fight, freeze, or fawn. And by the way, fawn is seeking love, basically. Codependent behavior can be categorized as fawn. So it's very interesting to make the connection that the reason we are codependent is because we have a perceived threat. And that makes a lot of sense when you start thinking about attachment wounds and the wounds that we receive in childhood that damage our ability to love ourselves and care for ourselves. And then we grow up and we have relationships and we become what's called a people pleaser and codependent. And that's what fawn is. I just want to explain that because a lot of people haven't heard of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I've read an article recently, and I'd have to give you the name of it, but it goes into quite a bit of detail how the fight is characterized. If a person is in fight constantly, they may be the person that is seeking to control and to manage and to manipulate, which could be characterized by narcissistic behavior. That's fight. It could be characterized by narcissistic behavior. Okay? Flight can definitely be characterized by avoidant type behavior. Okay? So it's interesting how these things that get triggered in the sympathetic nervous system for survival can be matched up with some personality characteristics. Freeze could definitely be dissociative. Being invisible, okay? And then fawn can be characterized by people-pleasing and seeking love and looking for attachment because of the perceived threat of being alone, you know. Attachment wounds create a fear of intimacy. So intimacy becomes a threat. So, you know, we're talking about these characteristics in the idea of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which has been characterized, again, by the attachment wound and layer upon layer upon layer of trauma in terms of relationship trauma. So, getting back to his book, he teaches us that we can do relaxation techniques. We can do a body scan and do relaxation techniques that will engage the parasympathetic nervous system. One technique is to, and I can't use both my hands right now, but put your hands together, put them behind your head, and relax your head into your hands, both hands. Relax your head into your hands, and you notice that when you do that, you can no longer take a shallow breath. Your breathing becomes deeper, and it engages the core muscles of your body, your diaphragm muscles, and the muscles of your abdomen. And it allegedly engages the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that is responsible for relaxation in the parasympathetic nervous system. Another thing that you can do is focus your vision onto an object 15 feet out in front of you, and then relax your vision to where you notice your peripheral vision, okay? And noticing peripheral vision relaxes you, engages the vagus nerve. He talks about in his book that police officers are trained to relax this way by using their peripheral focus. And then another way is to form the letter R in your mouth with your mouth closed. So close your mouth and form the letter R. When you do that, it raises the soft palate in the roof of your mouth and allegedly engages the vagus nerve. And then deep breathing, purposefully relaxing your abdomen out, pushing your abdomen out as if you were taking a breath all the way down, allegedly engages the vagus nerve. This is the kind of breath that if you were laying flat on a bed or a couch and you put a book on your abdomen, and when you do this kind of breath, the book would raise. So this is the kind of relaxing breath. He says in his book that all stress is perceived threat. So do a body scan, see where your tenseness is, and deliberately relax your muscles. He also talks about relaxing the pelvic floor by doing Kegel exercises. And this is similar to progressive relaxation techniques where you progressively tense and then release your muscles. That engages a relaxation response. So that is what I wanted to tell you about, and I hope this helps. Remember, all stress is perceived threat. Thank you.